Hey everybody, welcome to District Stitcher number 2. This is going to be a very short video today. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but I had an emergency root canal on Thursday, so I'm still recovering. So if my face looks a little wonky, that's why. It looks weird to me, so. Also got a haircut. Ooh, a lot less hair. My hair was looking a little rough. I had grown it out for our wedding last spring, but before that I lost my mind a little bit at the start of 2022 and kind of bleached my hair in January and then dyed it teal. I'll insert a photo here just so you see. It looked really cool for like a week, but because I did it myself with Manic Panic, it didn't last, and then I had color damaged hair that I had to get color corrected and everything. This is my natural color. Which is nice, and I shouldn't need to dye it, but I don't know, I had no explanation, I just had a moment. But I had, despite the damaged hair, I had grown it out for a wedding style. And if I can find on my computer a wedding photo, I will also insert that here so you get to see it. I also remembered this time to not mirror my camera, so items with writing on them you'll be able to read. So, you know, everything. It's a learning process. We're all here to learn and share things. And, you know, I'm not doing this for perfection. I'm doing this to be part of the really lovely, nice community that's on YouTube. So without further ado, we will jump right into it. I do have an FFO for you. Again, same disclaimer as last time. Don't get too used to this. I mean, I'm going to still try to finish up all the little monthly stitches from Waxing Moon Designs, but I may not have one to show every episode. But here is, just so you remember, I do have, it's attached to my desk. I do have last month's, which is, there we go, which is January, which is done in, on some spare linen, I'm not sure what it is. And the thread was Weeks Dye Works. There's a couple spaces that called for some DMC, like the bird's beak, and various things, and I also forgot to order the classic Colorworks green that goes on the scarf, so I just used the other, moving over there, sorry, I'm not used to the non-mirrored screen, it's weird. So I just used the other Weeks Dye Works, I think it was Scuppernog, for the stripes in the snowman. So that's January, and here is February. Isn't he cute? He's got, it took me embarrassingly long to figure out that that was a groundhog, for Groundhog Day, and then every time I worked on it, I kept thinking, Phil Connors? Phil? From Groundhog Day, and then singing, again, I just need to hold it like this, because I'm not at all used to this camera angle, and I kept singing the, I got you, babe, dun 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 dun. I haven't watched that movie in forever, and now I really need to watch it. The backing fabric on this is, Riley Blake's, I think it was called Sweet Cakes. It's from several years ago. I'm a very slow quilter, but I am a fabric hoarder. So it was, I think it was fabric I bought for a baby quilt for a kid who's now 8. So that should tell you how slow I am on quilting. Anyway, this is February. He's hanging up on the door. And yeah, that's my FFO. Not a ton in the way of whips, because I worked on February and that's finished now. I did make some progress on the P. Buckley Moss. Let me get it so there's no glare. P. Buckley Moss Solitary Skater. And again, that's what she'll look like. Slight change, I'm not doing it on white Aida. This pattern is from 1984. So white Aida was kind of the bog standard. So I'm instead doing it on Silvery Moon Lugana by Weichelt. I still don't know how to pronounce it. If anybody knows how to pronounce it, please let me know. vacant. But here is the, let's see if I can get some, the light in here is terrible today, I'm sorry. It's also very light, and it's got a lot of, wrong hand, it's got a lot of light shades to it, and that is, it's difficult to get it to show up on camera. But I don't know why I think it looks like a schoolhouse. I think it's just a house. But the house is done, and the stitching on it, it will get some backstitch to give it bricks. You can kind of see. Nope, wrong way. Thank you for your patience. There you go. It'll get some backstitching on it to get some brick pattern and stuff. So there's progress on that. Speaking of P. Buckley Moss, I know a lot of people, I guess, remembered her artwork, or, like it struck a chord with some folks. I have another pattern that was out of the collection from my husband's grandmother, and I also just went ahead and found like a vintage pattern site, and I bought a couple that I liked for myself as well. Sorry, I scratched my face, and this is the area where it's painful. It's been a week. Thank you for bearing with me. The other project that I have some progress on is the stocking for my grandniece. This is what it will look like when it's done. Excuse me. There we go. So now that I'm past this top part here, it's a little easier because that top part was half stitch with 5 threads, and it was a pain in the butt to pull through the Aida. The kit came with some light blue Aida, which I think is it's really lovely. And it'll look very nice when it's all finished, because I really like, see if you can see it. Let me put it in my face, maybe that'll help. I really like the light blue backstitch details on the light blue Aida. It just makes, I don't know, even though it's kind of cartoony, I liked the bright colors, and I just thought it was really fun. So, let's see if I can get my stand up here. There we go. There's some progress. I am in general attempting to backstitch as I work. There's no beads to pull off when I roll it up, so I figure I'll just get it done as I go down. So there's some progress. The green is a little lighter than I thought it would be, but I think once all the backstitch and stuff is in place, it'll look really nice. So those are really just the 2 whips that I'm working on. Like I said, this is going to be a fairly short episode. Let me show you those patterns that I was talking about, and then I have a couple questions for y'all. And then also, I have a lot more stuff to show you, but again, my face hurts, so cut it real short this week. The next week, I'll probably show you some of the kits and other patterns that I have in stash. Maybe do a little parade. But yeah, let me show you the other P. Buckley Moss. So this is the one that came out of my husband's grandmother's collection. See if you can see the geese. And I don't know why I like cross stitch patterns in art of geese. Geese themselves I could take or leave. They're jerks. But again, I do have an affinity with birds that are jerks, as evidenced by the fact that I like blue jays. But geese are, they're aggressive. They're also, you'll see geese a lot around DC. Like down on the National Mall and stuff, there's the geese. It's also like, I think it's like a felony you can't hurt a goose on federal land. It's like, it's a whole thing. which, I mean, fine, but they are a little, not little, they're huge feathered terrorists. So, you know, there you go. This is one of the ones that I bought. Just want you to focus. There we go. I liked the colors. I like the winter designs a lot because I like the backstitch branches. I know a lot of people don't like backstitch. I don't mind it. I like doing the backstitch. I like how it gives it a finished feel. I mean, I love projects that don't have backstitch, but I don't mind doing the backstitch. Generally, when I'm stitching, I've got some random show on in the background that I don't have to concentrate too hard on, or I catch up on podcasts a lot because I don't have a commute anymore, because I telework. I used to listen to podcasts a lot on my commute, and now I don't really have that. So now I just listen to podcasts while I cross stitch. It's nothing interesting. It's mostly, I like to history podcasts, and then I listen to a lot of political podcasts because I live in DC. I'm a nerd. Anyway, here's the other one. I loved this one. And I'll probably I might kit up and work this one in the fall. I don't know, I loved it. And somebody in the comments brought up that they're very Amish inspired. And it feels like, which is probably why I associate it with Pennsylvania, even though she's a Virginia artist. It does kind of feel that way again, growing up in Pennsylvania. I grew up in Western Pennsylvania, and there's not a lot of Amish, but I had an aunt who used to live out in Beckley and like the Altoona area, and there's a lot of Amish around there. So it did remind me a lot of that. All right, so I want to move into, I know someone gave me a shout out, and I really appreciate it, and I forgot to look up who it was, so I will give you a shout out back next week. Not next week, but I'm going to try to shoot for every 2 weeks. The next video I will do that. I will also, nope, wrong hand. There we go. I will also try to remember to pull down this frame. It was a pain in the butt to get up there because I make no guarantees, but that is one of the few framed pieces that I've done, and it's the Butternut Road Once Upon a Time stitch, and I loved stitching it. And what's funny is that it's this beautiful kind of almost feminine fairy tale princess type thing, and I cross-stitched most of it while watching wrestling because it's soap operas with violence, and that appeals to me. I was a comic book nerd, so I don't know. My husband always watched it, and then I just would never leave the living room when he had it on. I would just like be cross-stitching or knitting or something, and I got sucked into the plot lines. And I don't watch it as much anymore, but we were watching it like every single week. We were watching the WWE, various things. You can take the girl out of Western Pennsylvania, I guess, but you can't really take the Western Pennsylvania out of the girl. So yeah, so a couple questions for you guys. I know I already had a discussion in comments with some folks over book recommendations, and I know I kind of jokingly said that I'm mostly just reading smutty romance, like Kindle. I do read a lot of other things. It's just if I'm in a rut and I just want something that I equate to, I call it my bag of chips reading. Like sometimes you want a nice meal, sometimes you want a bag of Doritos. And so I have my Doritos reading, which is, just random paranormal romance stuff that I don't have to think too hard about. That's always entertaining. And I don't judge myself for what I read. I don't judge anyone else for what they read. Like, listen, I read the entire Ice Planet Barbarian series in like 3 days. So there's no judgment here, and this is a judgment-free zone. And by the way, the Ice Planet Barbarians are I love those books. They're wonderful. They're like, each book is like a chocolate chip cookie. But I also read lots of other things. So if we want to have a little book rec discussion, folks can leave comments on what kind of genre they're looking for their next read and whatever genre they're looking for, and I will give you recommendations on the next video. Like I said, I read everything. I don't know that there's a genre that I don't read. So it's really just whatever strikes my fancy at any given moment. I have a bunch of books on my Kindle. I have a stack of, it's going to take some while to get used to. Maybe I can like mirror and then flip it when I'm editing. I might try to do that next time because this is driving me nuts. But there's a stack of paperback books there. I just finished The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches that my sister-in-law Emily lent me. I loved it. It was super cute. It was just very sweet, very, like, there's some romance to it. It's found family. It's very cozy. It would have been a good, well, I wasn't going to think it would have been a good Halloween read because it's sort of witchy, but then they have a whole thing about the winter solstice, so it actually would have been like a nice little cozy Christmas read, but I just now finished it. And so yeah, so let me know if that's something you guys want to do. You can leave some comments. The next thing I have is a question. Well, I have a correction. The last video I mentioned a needle shop on the boardwalk in Ocean City. A commenter corrected me. That is Salty Yarns is the name of that shop. Sea Needles. And what's funny is, again, this pattern's from the 80s, but you can, I'm not sure when she bought it, but you can see, my husband's grandmother bought it from, oh, there we go, Sea Needles in Bethany in Delaware, which I'm pretty sure is still around. At least it was there a few years ago when I went. I'm not sure what has and what has not survived the pandemic. I'm pretty sure needle shops probably did fine because they can do pickup orders because everybody was staying at home and probably cross-stitching. With that, so that's the correction. What I have a question for you all. If you could leave me a comment and let me know, what do you use to wash your stitches? So when if you have one that's on pale fabric that you handle a lot, like this one, it's on the Silvery Moon Lagana, so even though I am attempting to just hold it by the plastic and not get my hands on it too much, I will admit I also hate having dry hands, so I do use lotion, and I don't do anything with any scent or color or anything. I just use unscented lotion, but, I just would like to make sure that it doesn't, it looks nice when I eventually frame it. So what do you guys use to soak and wash your stitches? I mean, I know hand wash and just kind of gently soak, but I'm not sure what product to use. To soak, shampoo. I know when I wash yarn, when I wash my knitting, I use shampoo because wool is hair-like, and I just use the shampoo that I use on my own hair, which is, I can't figure out my hair today. It's one of those days. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and stop this video while I'm ahead, and then I'm going to go put an ice pack on my face. So, thanks everybody. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your patience with me, and I will see you with the next video. Bye.